You know, I seen it like a forecaster. It was rain, rain, rain today and tomorrow after. But I ain't master rap until I move back to the STL. Let's go, oh, let's do it now, let's do it now.
Valencia, the city on Spain's eastern coast. That's more than just its Mediterranean beaches and sunny climate. It's also home to some great hilly driving roads and the Ricardo Tormo circuit. Perfect test bed for the latest Lamborghini. I am here to test this car, the Lamborghini Huracan Tecnica. The new variant that seeks a fine balance of raw and extreme power with finesse and technology. So, the mid-engined V10 wonder, the Huracan model line, expands yet again. Meet the Lamborghini Huracan Tecnica, whose name literally translates to technique from Italian. It takes the best of the already bonkers performance-topping Huracan STO and makes it, dare I say, more practical. It sits between the STO and the Evo rear-wheel drive. Now, in terms of what has changed visually, the big change really is how you almost get a sense of an unending windscreen, because you see the paint and the metal element has been pushed down a little bit. The other thing, of course, is the typical Y-shaped pattern that's been very predominantly put into this face. Kind of goes with the whole hexagonal styling that's very much a signature of the Lamborghini brand. There are, of course, changes in aerodynamics, and the hexagonal pattern shows up in the wheel, also in the tailpipes. So those things are, of course, very distinctly Tecnica as far as the model itself is concerned. But the big focus really is about trying to find a good balance within the overall Huracan range. That's what the car is all about, and visually, it speaks that language. I am at the fabulous Ricardo Tormo circuit de Valencia, a highly technical track with tight corners and a total length of just over 4 kilometers. It's a sunny day and the conditions are dry. The car with me is dressed in a stunning green that they call VERDE SELVANS. It also has the Bridgestone Potenza race tires that are track specific and were developed from scratch for the STO. Okay, let's go. We fire things up with a slower lap with the instructor in front of me in a Huracan STO. Once I get a feel for things, we do 4 fast laps in each session. Instantly, you know the car is different and more hungry than the Evo RWD. Now, the whole idea with the Tecnica was to go more dynamic than what you've seen with the Evo rear-wheel drive, and yet not be as extreme or as technical as the STO, which is so much more track-focused. And I have to say, the car does manage a brilliant balance of those two things. And the electronics on board, they don't interfere with your driving, but they work in the background to make you look like a rock star. Having driven the Huracan Performante before at the Imola circuit, I could see the difference that the RWD or rear-wheel drive and extra power are bringing. The engine is the 5.2-litre power plant first seen on the Performante that I just mentioned, but it is the latest iteration. tuned to STO specs, so you get 30 horses more than on the Evo RWD. And as I said, the engine is a straight carryover from the stonking STO. The big takeaway is that since the engine uses direct port injection and not petrol particulate filters, it sounds loud. Yes, very loud. Like with any Lamborghini, it's the sound of that engine that just gets your juices flowing. And then the car does everything right to get them flowing some more. The Tecnica is a rear-wheel drive and has rear-wheel steering too. It has a sharp, pointy front end and takes corners very precisely. So like what we are used to with the Huracan family, you have the 3 drive modes. There's Strada, Sport and CORSA. Strada for the street. Sport needs no explanation, it's a little bit more dynamic. And then you've got CORSA for the track. So right now I'm behaving myself and I'm leaving the car in Sport so that I can talk to you. You can toggle the modes by using the button on the steering. Like all Lambos of late, all buttons are on the steering, including turn indicators. The almost hexagonal steering wheel is finished in Alcantara. There's more response from the steering that has a nice weighted feel. And then the fact that the electronics now do not seem as intrusive and more intuitive than before. Now I have to say this is not an easy circuit to drive on, but we're coming onto the straight now, so time to push it. And you brake past 200 without batting an eyelid. 250. It is brilliant. The steering of this thing is just phenomenal. The car will go exactly where you point it, down to the last millimeter. Then throw in the fact that the tires have this amazing amount of grip. Oh, perfection, absolute perfection. The Tecnica is heavier than the STO, since it does not have any carbon composite body panels like the STO does. The LDVI, or Lamborghini Dinamica Veicolo Integra, which is the car's integrated vehicle dynamics system, or you could say its brain, is calibrated differently on the Tecnica. The LDVI controls the car's active suspension and adaptive dampers, its rear-wheel steering, the traction control, and ESC, and it adjusts them real-time depending on inputs from the road surface. It has been calibrated as less extreme than in the STO, but I have to say, it stays way ahead of the Evo RWD for sure. Heading out onto the track for a slightly less dynamic lap this time around, which is why there is no helmet. Let's go. The rear wheel steering gives you very tight cornering, which is what I am loving most about this drive. The quick pop into the cabin. It is no doubt superbly finished, and you can get all the customization in the world. The interior is also very nice. leather and Alcantara abound. And you can get special metal, smoked wood, carbon fiber, and many other textures around the car's interior. The large vertical touchscreen layout is new and fairly intuitive. You get the expected connectivity and smartphone options, but there isn't a great place to store your phone. The virtual cluster is cool, with the graphics changing color scheme depending on the drive mode that you're in, and in traditional Lamborghini colors too, I might add. It is very fun to redline the rev counter, and you get large readouts when you change gears using the large paddles. There are 6 airbags and a 100-liter boot for some basic luggage. The Verde SELVANS trim on the car I have continues inside the car, with matching green inserts in the seats, green stitching, and the option to customize the plastics in that same shade too if you want. Of course, with any Lamborghini, even the sky is not the limit when it comes to customization. I am staying with that green Huracan Tecnica, but this one now has the Bridgestone Potenza sport tires. On the road is where I am appreciating the LDVI even more. It keeps step with not just the road surface and speed, but also your inputs, from steering to throttle to braking. And the nice thing about driving here in Spain is that you get a real variety of road surfaces. Nice smooth road right now, but I've gone through patchy road, pothole roads. It's very much at home kind of feeling. But that's what makes it nice to drive this car, because it also tells you that all this talk about, oh, you know what, you can use this car every day, it really sort of is an idea that comes home to roost, because you can actually make this a daily driver. Is it practical? Of course not. But can it be done? Yeah, it's not tough at all. On the road, I'm staying in Strada or Sport mode, occasionally playing with the CORSA mode on the higher speed autovia or Spanish highways. Got to keep it in Strada mode so that I can talk to you and be heard. That's how fabulous this orchestra is right behind me. You do need to get used to the very quick response from the carbon ceramic brakes. Even the slightest press on the pedal gives you savagely fast results. So once you get the hang of it, this is actually an asset. The Huracan family is now very refined, including the 7-speed dual-clutch LDF transmission. Now there are some structural changes. You've got the nose and the back, which have been stretched out just a little bit to increase downforce. It does give you more than 30% extra downforce compared to the previous car, and that obviously makes a huge difference to the dynamics and the aerodynamics. The Tecnica does 0 to 100 km per hour in 3.2 seconds and 0 to 200 in just 9.1 seconds. Its top speed has been limited to 325 km per hour. The road manners are very comfortable in traffic, and the hybrid aluminium carbon fiber chassis is a dream, contributing beautifully to the car's taut handling. Yet, you can make a lot of noise if you want to. The gearbox switches down nice and quick, giving you lots of pops and crackles. The steering's really on point. Not that that surprises me one bit about the Huracan. It's always been very precise. This one in particular, though, is so sweet. It gets enhanced by the fact that you also have rear wheel steering. The Huracan Tecnica will get you a lot of attention for its looks, its colors, its sound, and mostly for its phenomenal performance, just as every Lamborghini should be. And this may well be the last of the kind of Lamborghinis we have been used to. The brand begins its electrification journey from next year, and barring one more edition of the Huracan that we should get by December, this is the last pure Lamborghini with an internal combustion engine only ever. The Tecnica's arrival in India is expected in early September 2022. It will have a limited allocation like all the other supercars from the Raging Bull. Expect prices in the 3.5 to 4.5 crore rupee range depending on options and specs chosen.